Hey guys, you're listening to the Timmy Riggs podcast, Life in the Meantime. Hope you're doing good. I have been living in the meantime, been doing a lot of things, really excited about that. In June, I actually went out to Dave Ramsey's headquarters and was a part of what's called an influencer event. And basically it was connected to my In the Meantime stuff. And I had reached out to them about some things. And so I got invited to that event, and that was awesome. Super encouraging, really empowering. Just for you to know, I came in second in the speak off. There were 75 people. So I was super proud of that and kind of just walked away feeling like, man, like, okay, like I can do this. I'm in the right bus. I'm in the right lane. And I'm going to keep throwing mud against the wall and see what happens. Today, I'm posting this episode because, man, I do want to encourage you, but I'm going to start out with this. You are going to die. Point blank. You're going to die. I'm going to die. I remember listening to Jim Rohn, I think is his name, and he says, you know, the thing about life is it's so risky that none of us are going to make it out alive, right? So what do, right? That sounds so like morbid, but I actually think it is like really, really good news. Because I think if we allow ourselves to sit in that for a moment and be like, man, I am going to die. There is a day where I'm going to run out of days. I think it alleviates and allows us to shake off and get rid of some of the trivial matters and stress that consume our mental space. This life is it. We get one go of it. And I believe that in some type of way, there is more to come. And there's a way that God is going to redeem death and is doing that now. But right now, this is what I've got. This is what he's given me. And scripture is riddled with that reminder. Solomon, one of the kings of Israel, he wrote in Ecclesiastes, point blank, he just said, there is a time to be born and there is a time to die. Jesus tells us it's really silly to worry about tomorrow because today's all you got. Tomorrow's going to come with its own stuff. And plus, today truly might be all you have. I remember, I think it's Billy Graham who maybe said, after all, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. So don't use up that sacred mental space that you have worrying about things of tomorrow. And then I love what James said. This is Jesus' brother. He said this in James 4:14. You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. James is saying, man, why are you so worried thinking about what's next, making your plans, trying to get so caught up in all the things that you have to do next or all the bills you got to pay or whatever? And he's saying, look, your life is a vapor. It's a mist. It's like a fog. What do we know about fog? Well, if it rolls in the morning, usually by mid-morning, it's gone. And he's saying that is your life. It's here today, gone tomorrow. So you might as well figure out how to enjoy the here, right? And bottom line is we get so worried about our life that we forget to live it. That's been me. For me, I've got a lot of awesome things happening and I'm really encouraged by that. And I feel this amazing empowerment of just like, hey, you're moving in the right direction. I got an event coming up. I've got different people giving me different opportunities and that feels really good. But I'm also walking this crazy line of feeling like, well, I don't know what's next. I don't have a plan. I don't know, and it's like, whoa, maybe that's not where I'm supposed to live. Maybe where God has me right now is exactly where he wants me because it forces me to trust him. It forces me to allow him to open doors, create opportunities, and it's not just left up to my striving and left up to me trying to be the one that makes everything happen. I do believe that in life we're called to work, we're called to produce, but I also don't think it has to be all us, right? You know that today in the self-development world, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I'm the captain of my own ship. I'm the driver of my destiny. And I just think, hey, I think God has called us to work and to move in the direction that he's called us. But that there's just a lot that's out of our control, and we have to give that to him. This is a bit of a counseling session for me, actually, this episode, but it's just me sharing with you, man, the things I'm going for, because it's this crazy feeling of, well, I've got faith, and I'm taking the right next step, but sometimes it's hard because we want more tangible, like neon sign saying, yes, you're doing all the right things. You're headed all the right direction. So this is not going to be a long podcast. And I really just want to say this. You're going to die. That's good news, because a lot of, probably 80%, I don't know, I'm just throwing this number out, of what you think about, what you're worried about, doesn't really matter when you think in terms of, I'm going to die. So what does matter? Man, I think one of the things that I am working hard at enjoying is that every time I get a phone call from my mom or dad, it is enjoying their voice. I believe, and I'm hoping they got tons of years and tons of life left. But I'm just recognizing, like, there's going to be a day where maybe I don't get to pick up the phone and hear their voice. And so I want to relish in it. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to see their phone calls or something as a burden. Instead, I want it to be like, I get to talk to my dad. And I know that's not something everybody gets to do. I get to talk to my mom, and I know there are people that every day wish they still could pick up the phone and talk to their mom, you know? My daughter's 2 years old, and Teddy is, she is awesome. She's an amazing little girl, but she's a toddler. And so there's a lot of moments that are really frustrating. Last night, she didn't want me to get her out of the bath. We had to get out of the bath, right? So she's screaming at me. She's yelling at me. I looked at her and I was like, don't yell at me, right? And a 2-year-old isn't going to understand that. But what I'm trying to do is take a step back. I actually did. I took multiple steps back, took a deep breath, and I was like, hey, I'm her dad. I'm her only dad. And in this moment, I have got to be patient and peaceful. And that's ultimately eventually what she will feel. And so I just want to relish this, because there will be a day when I'm not getting Teddy out of the bath. And I'm not having those moments that are fun and enjoyable where she's touching my face or showing me how she's blowing bubbles in the water, right? And so I want to soak up those moments. I think for all of us, you know, I was just thinking about this, like, well, what do we do with our time? Because at the same time, we also know life is really long and you have a lot of beautiful options. And really, I think the options are limitless of what you can do and what you can be and the life you can create. And so I was like, man, what are the options? What are the things that you can do in this world? And here's just a couple things. First of all, I come from the place of, I think you got to be kind. I think you should be encouraging. I think you should be uplifting. I also think you should create, you should care, and you should build. I think that's right off the top. Those are just a couple things that you can do. Go on adventures, enjoy outside, go on dates, right? Challenge yourself to accomplish something new. Write a letter to someone you love. Work to get out of debt. Learn how to be a better cook. And I said, heck, just learn how to do one dish, right? You know, like you always hear like people that are like, did you have Steve's mac and cheese at the church potluck? Oh my gosh, Steve's mac and cheese is to die for. And I was like, man, I don't got anything like that. And I was like, you know, I'm not like the world's best cook, but what if I just picked one thing, like something obscure, right? Like what if it was just like later in life, people are like, have you had Timmy's scallops? Oh my, once you have his scallops, you never go back. That's it. Once you eat his scallops, you don't even want to eat other food. It's like eating cloud or something. It's amazing. Like you got to dive in to his scallops. You become one with the ocean when you eat his scallops, to be frank. But I just think that there's something like that, something weird, right? You can exercise, you can give away money, you can tell people that you love them. It's hard for me to say that I love you to people. I don't know why. I love so many people, but I'm working hard to start just saying it out loud. Contemplate your thoughts, your beliefs. Lean into the ones that produce good, right? Like there's so much about life that we can do that doesn't cost us money, that we can begin to feel more alive and recognize that, man, with this vapor that I have been given, I'm doing something good with it. I'm doing something meaningful with it. And so for you, sit down. Start writing it out. Man, I'm going to die. Title the paper, I'm going to die. Put it at the top and say, okay, so with the time that I have, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue to work this job for the next 15 years when I don't really love it? I don't know. You know, I know everyone's so big on quitting your job. You don't have to quit your job. Maybe you like your job. But there are options. There's other things you can try, right? And just go down the list. Like, man, I want to be more kind. I want to be more compassionate. I want to be the person that when I walk into a room, other people just feel inspired. I do want to learn one dish, deep dish pizza, or some kind of crazy lasagna, or I don't know why I'm sticking to those Italian type things. Like maybe it's like I just want to make the world's best French fries. Like just pick something, start collecting trains, do something different. Like start making people be like, what? That's awesome. Like I got a friend, he has a giant bird collection. He categorizes every time he sees a different bird. That's super cool. Like so much. I'm not sitting around looking for birds. I wish that I was. I wish I had that patience. And yet he's over here enjoying life the way that he feels it's best. Just looking for different birds. Like start pulling yourself out of the crazy consumeristic victim mindset of just like, I guess this is it. Like, and because here's the deal. It is a vapor. Your life is a vapor. And one day it's just going to go by. I can't believe I'm 30 already. I can't believe I have a 2-year-old. I can't believe I have another kid on the way. I was talking to my mom the other day and she's like, oh, you and Emma have had a great marriage for 5.5 years. You guys have crushed it. I was like, Mom, we're almost married 8 years. It's been 7.5. Like, I can't believe how fast time goes. But I also know that the days are long and there's a lot that I can do within the days. And so this is my charge to you. Enjoy the day. You got problems. I got problems. You got things you're worried about. I get it. We got bills to pay. We got jobs that are frustrating or not quite what we want them to be. We got bumpy parts of our marriage that we have to work through. I know that there's all types of things that everyone's going through. So I'm not negating those things, but I'm just saying, man, it's like that. Here today, gone tomorrow. And I just want to be someone that squeezes the juice out of life. And I want you to be that way too, because I think that the more of us that start doing that, it's contagious. And I think more people can start to live that way as well. So with that said, man, life happens in the meantime, doesn't it? Time to be born, time to die. But what happens in the meantime is up to you. And I want to enjoy the here while I'm working to get there. Hope you have a good day. Hope that maybe this encouraged you. And if it did, send it to a friend. Just say, hey, you're going to die. And listen to this podcast. And yeah, that's that. I will talk to you soon. And hope you have a great day.